Yes, ma'am. We can begin.
Shall I do it? I'll do.
Ma'am, the
Okay.
recording is on.
Okay, thank you. Hello, good evening, everyone. Welcome to day one of People, Development and Environment. I hope my screen is visible to everyone.
Yes, ma'am. Now it's visible.
Yes. Thank you. Okay, now talking about this particular segment of People, Development and Environment from paper one. First of all, I'd like to say that this is something which we have all kept learning from our school. You know, when we have studied environmental studies, we know a glimpse about this subject. And as UGC NET divides, you know, each and every section is giving around a weightage of 5% as such. So here, the 5 questions which we'll be getting as such would be good rhythm for you to score good marks, right? So talking about the syllabus of People, Development and Environment, here it is divided into 3 sections majorly. The first talks upon the development and environment, the basic fundamentals of what is environment, how does it constitutes of. Now you would have heard these words called biotic, abiotics, heterogeneous, carnivorous, and all this. Yeah, so basic terminology we will be we'll just brush that up, that knowledge. And apart from that, the major questions which comes from this particular sections is millennial development goals and sustainable development goals. So the pattern which I have observed from these many years is definitely there's one question coming from this segment. So as and when we would be walking across the entire syllabus, I'll try to make sure that wherein you need to put more weightage and more focus should be there, where we usually expect one question coming from that side. Okay, the next part here talks upon human and environment interactions. Now, here we talk about the anthropologic activities. What are they? How does that affect the environment? Again, we are focusing towards more on adverse, you know, the harmful effect which it has on environment. The third segment here talks about the pollution part, right? So environmental issues because of these anthropologic activities which we tend to do on our daily life. So how does that affect our environment? So we have local, regional problems what we face at, you know, when I'm staying at a very own city level, what is it there? At global level, how, you know, we have G20 summit going on which focuses on climate change as such. So this is something now again not just to remain the local problem. This is again a global problem which all the countries have to come together and work upon it, right? So similarly on this section we will be talking about air pollution, water pollution, soil pollution, noise pollution, waste, climate change, and its socio-economic and political dimension. So in this today's class we'll try to cover up these topics, and thereafter we have, you know, we have acts and ways how we'll try to understand environment. I hope it is clear. You're able to understand the basic glimpse and crux of it. Yes, no, maybe. Yes. Am I audible? Okay. Okay, now the first thing here I would like you to, you know, unmute your mic and answer. What do you mean by environment when we say in a very generic layman language? I don't want any bookish terminologies, because I feel that, you know, whenever whoever is a paper set of UGC NET tries to understand the conceptual knowledge as such, whether we have understood the topic, it is never, you know, you have to state a definition and you tell who has given on which year, you know, barely will find one question maybe like that. Mostly they are trying to understand and shake our fundamentals as such. So in your very own language, what do you think? What is meant by environment? What is meant by environment? Anyone? Give it a
Our
try.
surroundings, ma'am, our surroundings, which consist of
Hmm.
plants, animals,
Very good.
and all the natural elements.
Okay, great. Anyone else would like to add something? That's it. That's it. Our environment. When I say in much more, in a very basic language, when we say what is environment, anything which surrounds us, we constitute it to us, that is environment. Now, when we dig into detail, the environment here talks upon, we can divide into two different parts. The first we say as biotic factors and second is abiotic. Now, if we break down that into much more simple language, in biotic factors, we are focusing on living things, right? When you talk about fungi, you might be eating mushroom, which is again a kind of fungi, right? We have plants, we have animals, bacteria is there, processes there. So all these constitute of the living things which is there in the environment. And then it also constitute of abiotic factors, which is nothing but my non-living things. So here you can have a basic, this is again, we are surrounded by air, we are surrounded by, light is there, humidity, water, soil, temperature, minerals is there. So those are my abiotic factors. So again, environment is anything which is surrounding us, we constitute towards environment. And then we will remember these two words. Biotic will remember by living objects, and abiotic we will remember by non-living objects. Am I clear so far? Shall we proceed? Yes? Now, if we see into it, the literal definition, biotic components talks about living organisms that live in the ecosystem. We call them biotic components. And when we are talking about these chemical, the physical factors, as we just saw, water can be there, soil can be there, temperature, humidity. So this is again, which is present in the ecosystem, but they are kind of non-living objects. So that is why we call it as abiotic component. So you're living and non-living. This is basically originated from biosphere, and this again, when we talk about this, we talk about lithosphere, hydrosphere, and atmosphere. So here, in totality, we will remember these two words, biotic and abiotic, and we will remember living objects and non-living objects. Now, moving forward, we can further divide our biotic factors into three major categories. First is producers, second is consumers, and third is decomposers. Now, can anyone help me? Now, this is typically we have studied on from, I guess, fifth standard or something in our EVS, environmental studies, these words. So can anyone help me? What is producers? Who are producers? Anyone? Give it a try. It's fine. Who are producers? Whom do we call as producers? You can see the images is also given. Who are producers?
Plants.
Plants can be producers. Why do we call them producers?
Synthesize their food material one.
Yes. They synthesize their food material by their very own, so we call them producers, right? So here what we are saying that they can prepare their own food. That is why we are calling them producers, as simple as that, right? So here we are considering this, they are in living form and they are able that they can, and consumers are being fed on these producers. That second comes in is consumers. So here, if you remember, we used to study this word called as photo phototrophics, right? Who take sunlight as a source of energy, and then that is being and carbon dioxide, and then they produce carbon as such. So here we can remember example of, say for example, green plants. We have green algae and some kind of bacteria also comes in, and so here they are able to produce their very own food as such. The second here is consumers. Who are consumers?
Depending on producers.
Who are depending on producers. Okay, good. Anyone else would like to add something? I want to make it interactive, please. It should not be I'm speaking for 2 hours straight and there's something ma'am said and went away. Come on. Who are consumers? You can see it's everyone. We know it. It's okay to be right, wrong. It's all fine. No worries. We are all here to learn, even me. Consumer, as Sir said very rightly, they don't prepare their very own food, but they are dependent on producers, that they'll be getting food from producer as such. Now, if you remember, we have these three words coming in. First was herbivorous, second is carnivorous, and third is omnivorous. Now, herbivorous, as the name suggests, herbivorous, what will be? Herbivorous. Think of it quickly. Who eats plants? Can you give me example? Who eats plant? Which animals? Think of it. Which animal eats plants?
Cow,
Cow eats plant. Very good. Does buffalo eat plants?
goats, rabbits,
Very good. Now, these are my herbivorous. Herbs, we'll remember this word, herbivorous. Herbs, they are someone who eats a plant. So here we will categorize them, start to recall in that manner. Now, these type of simple questions can come and match the following. Now, which will fall in which category? So herbivorous, by herb, we will remember plants. Very good. Second is carnivorous. Carnivores are flesh-eating. Who would come in this? Flesh-eating animals? Flesh-eating. Meat, flesh-eating animal. Who would be there?
cat, rat.
Cat, rat. We can see a
Yes,
tiger over there.
yes.
Yes, lion, tiger. So in carnivorous, they are not, again, they are dependent on somewhere or the other. They are dependent on herbivorous to get that. In your childhood, you would have studied this, food cycle. So we are trying to recall that only. And then we have omnivorous, which consists of, say, for example, dogs, cats, who eat and depend on both. Either they'll get plant, as dogs also, they can eat plant also, they'll eat meat also, right? So there's no difference. So those are called as omnivorous. And at the end, we have decomposers. Now, decomposers are nothing but a kind of algae, bacteria, right? Who, again, they are fed on that. So in totality, we will remember biotic, abiotic. Biotic are living organisms, abiotic are non-living. And here in biotic, we are dividing further into producers, consumers, and decomposers. In consumers, we will remember herbivorous, carnivorous, and omnivorous. Okay. Now here they have given example for producers, autotrophs. They are also known as autotrophs. And here we call that photoautotrophs, and we call it autotrophs, sorry. Now, chemoautotrophs, as the name suggests, it has chemical agents. When we talk about, say, for example, hydrogen, iron, sulfur is there, which they use as a source of energy. Okay. And then, as we just saw, consumers, we have herbivorous, carnivorous, and omnivorous. Okay. The next thing which is very important here is when we talk about sustainability. Now, in a very generic sense, what do you mean by sustainability? What is sustainability? Concept of sustainability. This word is too trending these days. Sustainable. The product is sustainable. What does sustainability means? In a very generic term, I want to.
Environment friendly.
Perfect. Environment friendly can be sustainable. Okay. Anyone else? You can add your point. Sustainable, environmental friendly you have. Then what else can be there? Quickly.
Development by modernization.
Modernization. Okay. But what if it has adverse effect on environment? Is that accepted by people when we call it sustainable? Others?
I
Sustainability.
think sustainability could be understood as something that can be continued in the long term,
Hmm.
and it's not harmful. Like it does not have
Correct.
far too many adverse effects to be continued. So yeah, that's about it.
Great. Whenever we use this word sustainability, especially when we're talking in context with environment, we talk upon using of the resources very wisely. Now here, wisely means, say, for example, I have running water at my home. Does that give me a right that I should keep the tap on 24/7? Right? There would be flood at my home. That is a different story. But again, if I have that resource, I don't have that right to exploit it. Right? There are other people also there who need to use that. Now, here, sustainability says we have to use these resources wisely, judiciously, so that we have these resources left for upcoming generations also. We will not make a planet that we next generation will be having this climate change and glaciers being melting and this. So here we are talking about whatever are the resources available, make sure we are using it wisely. Am I clear? Are we able to get it? Sustainability? Yes. Okay, now here you can see in dark, meeting the need of the present generation without compromising the ability of future generation to meet their own needs. Now, this is the basic official, the definition which we say as such. So in very simple layman language, you'll remember we have to use the resources wisely. So there's resources left for the upcoming generation also. Now, if you look into the slide, the concept of sustainable development was first given in Our Common Future. Now, with sustainability, please remember this, Our Common Future. Now, this report was outcome of the group constituted by World Commission in Environment Development, right? And it was then chaired by Norwegian Prime Minister. The next thing which we will remember regarding sustainability is Rio Summit 1992. Now, in this environment, we have this Rio Summit, Paris Agreement, greenhouse, and everything. So we will try to remember that, right? So this has been emerging as a strong alternative model of development. After a long debate since Rio Summit of 1992, sustainable development means different things to different people. There are three important disciplines traditionally concerned with the process involved in conceptualizing sustainable development. Now, here, when I said, ma'am said that, we say sustainability as talking upon eco-friendly, or when I'm saying, sir said that, when we are talking about sustainability, we are talking about modernization. So as different people, we may have different perspective regarding what is sustainability to us, right? If I talk upon a business person, the sustainability can range regarding the product. If I talk about an environmentalist, they may have a different perspective. On and all, it talks upon three major. So in next slide, you will find this Venn diagram, which talks upon that sustainability we want at three levels. We want at society level, we need at economic level, and we need at environmental perspective also, right? So here, say for example, I am focusing toward, as sir rightly said, we want modernization, right? So we want economic development, we want our GDP to rise, we want wealth creation, we want technology. Today we are talking about technology and AI coming to this extent. So all is that fine. But again, I am not harming the environment as such. So here you can see in middle of this Venn diagram, we have viable. So we have to make sure that it is viable in nature, whatever we are trying to do. So in environment, you can see natural resource management. We are talking about zero wastage, clean energy, right? We are talking about reduce, reuse, recycle. And at society level, we are talking about we should have equal opportunity, right? Equal social cohesion should be there, togetherness should be there. So here we are focusing on equitable, bearable, and viable form, right? So in sustainability, we will try to remember this particular thing, that we are using the resources, so there's something left for the future generation. And you can remember these three pillars: society, economy, and environment, that should go hand in hand. One should not let down the other one as such. Are you able to get it, everyone? Yes, no, maybe would let me understand it. Are we able to understand? Yes, no, maybe.
Yes,
Or
ma'am.
shall I go little slow? That is also fine. Okay. Okay, next is the concept of sustainability and sustainable goals. So here, in 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development calls on countries to begin to achieve the 17 Sustainable Development Goals over the next 15 years. So 17 sustainable goals were built on first 8 Millennial Development Goals, which specifically sought by 2015 that to eradicate extreme poverty, hunger, universal primary education, promote gender equality, women empowerment, and all this, right? So here, the concept of sustainability, again, it calls from 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development. Now, before this, what we had 17 Sustainable Development Goals, and before that, we have 8 Millennial Development Goals. Now, again, as I discussed initially also, now these are my 2 topics which I have to focus when it comes about people environment, right? Now, the first thing which we'll understand here is why do we need sustainable development, right? Here, as we have said, because we have scarcity of resources. As I say, if I have running water at my home, it does not give me the right to keep the tap on 24/7. So here we have said that, be it water, be it food production, everything, marine fisheries and everything that has deteriorated over. We are doing over exploitation of natural resources. There's climate change coming in. So because of that, we need this sustainable development to come into picture. The first thing here, which will start, is Millennial Development Goals. Now, when we talk upon Millennial Development Goals, the United Nations Millennial Development Goals are 8 goals that 191 UN members states have agreed to try to achieve by the year 2015. So the predecessor of Sustainable Development Goal is Millennial Development Goals. So the first thing here we will remember is the name, which we call as MDGs, right? So in this part, we will remember 8 goals were being set up. So the first thing which we'll remember here is the 8 goals which were being set up by 191 UN member state, which they said that they'll try to complete it by 2015. The United Nations Millennial Declaration signed in by September 2000 commits world leaders to combat poverty, hunger, disease, illiteracy, environment, degradation, and discrimination against women. The MSDs are derived from this declaration and have specific targets and indicators. Now, these are the 8 Millennial Development Goals. First, reduce the poverty and social exclusion. Second, achieve universal primary education. Third, talked upon promote gender equality and empower women. Fourth, talked upon reduce the child mortality. Fifth, talked about improving the maternal health. Sixth, talked upon combat of HIV, AIDS, and tuberculosis. Seven, talked upon ensuring the environment sustainability. And 8, talked upon partnership and development, right? So these are my 8 Millennial Development Goals. So we'll remember, if you can recall again, the name of it as specific, but we have to remember 8 Millennial Development Goals, which we had to achieve till 2015. Now, for this 8 Millennial Development Goals, we had 8 were measured on 21 targets. Okay. Now, when we talk upon Millennial Development Goals, right, this particular slide, so they had used various parameters. Now, say, for example, the first one, if I talk upon reducing the poverty and social exclusion, so they said that, they have tried to match the data from 1990, wherein they said that, nearly half of the population in the developing nation lived in less than $1.25 per day. And the proportion dropped, when we say about 2015 figure, the proportion dropped by 14% as such. Similarly, when they said that, globally, the number of people who are living in extreme poverty has declined by then half, falling from 1.9 million 1990 to 836 million in 2015. So most progress has occurred since 2000 in this particular case. So they have various parameters which they have used, that global number of extreme poor people. So in 1990 to 2000, it has almost halved of it, right? So here, similarly, the second one, when we are talking of achieving universal primary education. Now, here there can be question about these goals as such. So you don't have to remember and recall each of the figure, as I'm saying, there were in 2000, it was around 100 million, and now to 2015, it was around 57 million people have additionally gone for primary education as such. We are not remembering, but just for your information, I'm just specifying. Similarly, when I'm talking about promote gender equality and women empowerment, so here how much 90% of the country is on the women parliament since 1995. So there are more participation being done as such. Next, after millennial development goals. So as I've highlighted over it, here you will remember 8 goals. And for that, we have 21 targets now. There are 8 millennial goals and we have 21 targets. And here we need to achieve in 20 by 2015, which we have achieved. And there are 191 UN members states who have made these goals. Now, the next one here comes is sustainable development goals, right? Now, sustainable development goals talk from the period of 2015. Now, 2015, they said we have, okay, fine, achieved various parameters into this. Then the next things comes into picture is sustainable development goals. Sustainable development goals started from 2015 and that ended in that will end in 2030, which is again a 15-year period. Now, there we had 191 UN member states. In this, we have 193 heads of state unanimously adopted for 2030 agenda. Now, whenever we are talking about sustainable development goal, we will remember it is also known as 2030 agenda. So there are questions I have found in many years, this particular question from sustainable development goal and 2030 agenda has come. So please remember that can be again used interchangeably also. Now here, the key objectives was eradicate poverty, fight inequality, and tackle climate change. Now, as the word sustainable development has come into picture, so we will try to remember climate change was something which was major addition that a society perspective should come in there. Universal vision was shared vision of humanity, social contract between the world leaders, right? So concept of sustainability and sustainable, here we are talking about demographic transition from continuing growing population, resource transition. Again, we have limited resource in hand. How we will be doing with that? Technological transition is there, political and social transition is there, and community transition. Apart from it, here it also talked upon slowdown of population growth, how we can do it, reducing the poverty, inequality, and third world debt, make agriculture more sustainable, protect the forest and other habitats as such, make water and energy use sustainable. So here also we will be talking upon hydro energy and everything in upcoming session, right? Make water use sustainable, that is improving the efficiency of water use and protecting the water qualities, reducing the waste generation. Here waste treatment, recycling process, what can be done, and major, these are the priority areas of achieving the sustainable goals. Now, if I again try to divide these sustainable goals, so here we have in totality, we have 17 sustainable goals. What were the number of, how much were the number of millennial development goals? How many goals were there? If anyone can answer. Millennial development goals.
They were
How many?
8 in number.
8. Anyone else? Any other answer other than 8? 8, or it was 7? 8, 7?
7, ma'am.
Okay. 7 or 8? 8 is the right answer. Okay, what ma'am gave in first. Okay, so remember millennial development goal again, because again it will be very confusing. You try to picturize this particular image in your head. 8, we are having 4 above, 4 in the second row. So 8 millennial development goals and 17 Now 8, 18 minus 1. Now you'll remember like that. 17, we have sustainable development goal. Now again, when we talked upon sustainability, we focused on 3 parameters: society, economy, and environment. Now again, there can be question, can we include? Now here you can see that when we are talking about poverty, hunger, health and well-being, education, gender equality, and water sanitation, it has been kept under society. Can I keep institutional setting in society? Can I keep institutional setting in society? Yes, no, maybe?
Yes, yes, ma'am.
Okay. Others? Now, I'm just giving you a small how a question can be framed. Now, say, for example, there can be a question, right, in sustainable development goals, which is not a part of environment. And there can be question, climate change, water ecosystem, land ecosystem, and partnership. What will be your answer? I repeat,
Partnership.
partnership, right? So that is why here I have given. Now you have to remember these 17 for sustainable development goal somewhere or the other. I'm not saying exact, you should remember the 17 was partnership, but you should know that, okay, now you can understand that 8 are here. So if I know that, the poverty was there, universal and primary education is there, gender equality, mortality, maternal health. Then there was something which related to disease, HIV, AIDS. Then they are talked upon sustainability also. And here also we have partnership for development. Similarly, here also you would have to lump sum remember the name of it. Now here, if you can see, energy system, inequalities, consumption and production, sustainable cities, industry and infrastructure, they are add-ons. Similarly, institutional setting is an add-on. So somewhere or the other, you have to remember that, okay, this we have studied, this may be falling in it. And that is why here I have given it bifurcation, society, environment and economy, you can divide. And then we had institutional setting and partnership, which again, we cannot put in particular head as such, but yes, that is also there. Am I clear, everyone? Are you able to understand what I'm saying? How a question can be framed? So if you have read it again and again, you know that this word is not alien. Now, suddenly I'm saying that just how we had mortality rate. So, okay, mortality, I will remember. It will come with millennial goals. Suddenly I'm saying that, alteration rate, or I'm saying pollution. Now, pollution is neither the part of millennial development goal or here. Neither we have used the word called climate change. So you'll able, because here what happens is whenever you are attempting UGC NET, what I believe, this is what I believe, I'm not saying it is true or not. What I believe is the 4 options which are being given, 2, it is very easy to eliminate. How we have KBC 50-50. 2, it is very easy to eliminate. The next 2 options which we have, one is partially correct and other is totally correct. Are you understanding my point? एक पूरा right होता है, एक आधा right होता है. So in this particular, how much you are studying, your conceptual knowledge, able to brush it up, that will help you to eliminate how well you are eliminating. And in 2, you have to find which is absolute right. One is partially right and one is, this is how I have, whenever I see question paper, I feel like that. Right? So make sure you are able to eliminate. These are the words I've come across. So this is not that. What is something which I'm not understanding? This may be that. Okay. So use your confidence and try to eradicate. Jitna aap kam kar paoge options, itna aapke liye easy hoga. And again, I'm saying people environment is a scoring subject. So make sure that, here you are parking, definitely a 5 marks should be there. You have to get it, right? Okay, moving ahead, we'll go through some MCQs, okay, before it gets too heavy. Let's do some MCQs hand in hand, so we are able to understand how much we have understood. The first question which you can see on your screen is, Sustainable Development Goals are formally called as Transformation Our World 2030 Agenda, Sustainable Living for All 2022 Agenda, Third, Life of Dignity for All 2022 Agenda, One Planet, One People 2030 Agenda. Tell me, what is the right answer?
Fourth one, ma'am.
Fourth one, okay. Others? Please unmute and answer. Take time, read. And just my humble request, whenever you are attempting any question, be it as I'm saying, people, environment, and development is a scoring part, always read the question twice. I repeat, always read the question twice. First, just read the question. Sustainable Development Goals are formally known as, you read it. Second, again read the question. Sustainable Development Goals are formally. The second time, whenever you read the same text, your speed increases. But make sure, however confident you are in that particular subject, this goes for every subject, be it teaching aptitude, research aptitude, anything. Always read the question twice. Again, because you have to read between the lines. It is as tricky as that. Okay. Anyone, any other answer? Sir has said 4. Any other answer? Any other answer, anyone? Other than 4, any other answer?
1, ma'am.
1, okay. Others? I've got any 2 answers. Others, please answer.
4.
4, okay. We have to. Everyone has to answer. Give it a try. It's fine. It'll be right or wrong. It's fine. Others, quickly.
Ma'am, a lot of us have actually typed in the chat box.
Okay, I'll log in through my phone and see it then. Wait.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. The answer 1 is the right answer. Sustainable Development Goals are also formally known as Transforming Our World 2030 Agenda. Now, how would we use elimination technique in this particular question? How do you think we can use elimination technique? Which one you are sure short it will not happen? It won't be the right answer. Come on.
Third one, ma'am. Life of dignity. That 2022 22 agenda is should be eliminated first, ma'am.
Okay. Someone, Arpita has written to second and third. Yes, beautifully. Now here, one thing I have made sure, Sustainable Development Goals is 2030 agenda. So one thing that we should be there, even Ankita, Sushri Ankita has also said that 2022 is something, we will clearly eliminate it. Then comes this to Transforming Our World 2030, one planet, one people. So again, here in, as we have mentioned above also, we are talking about transforming the world. Or if you look into Sustainable Development Goals very closely, we are talking upon the entire world perspective, right? So one planet, one people again is close to it. But here the right answer is Transforming Our World 2030 agenda. Okay. Are we good to go? Now, again, as I will be showing you questions on the screen, I repeat, read the question twice and then answer. I can see your messages also, right? We had more. Okay, now transition from Millennial Development Goals to Sustainable Development Goals. Here, see, we will remember Future We Want, a documentary which was being played at Rio 20 meeting, proposed a post-2015 development agenda. So before that, we had Millennial Development Goals, so which has now come with Sustainable Development Goals. Okay. So here, if you can see, no poverty, zero hunger, quality education, gender, sustainable partnership, which we have just saw that also. Okay, now this particular image gives us a glimpse, description, a differentiation between millennial development goals and sustainable development goals. So here in first is millennial. So the time frame was 2000 to 2015. Sustainable development goals, the time frame was 15 to 30. As I said, millennial development goals are goals were 8 in number. There we have 17. How many targets we have stated in millennial development goals? 21. That was written below that. Similarly, in sustainable development, we had 169 target. So here again, no need to recall it, but the number, if you are well versed and you can recall, that is good. Here the focus was poverty, health, education in sustainable development goal, social, economic, and environment. Now, if you remember that Venn diagram on the screen, remember that in sustainable development goal. Target audience here was basically developing countries. Here it was all the countries. Origin was developed by UN experts. Here bottom-up extensive global consultation and stakeholders input has led this. Simpler indicators were being used and limited data availability, because again, we were talking about 2015 era. But now again, we have complex indicators, we have data analysis, data-driven monitoring can be done. Here, limited focus was there, right? When we are talking about safe water, environment sustainability, and strong focus on climate action, mainly donor recipient and partnership-based emphasis was there, right? Okay, now next up, you can see on the screen how many millennial development goals were adopted in 2000. I repeat, how many millennial development goals were adopted in 2000? Answer first 6, 8, 10, 12. You can answer in chat box. B, B. Okay, others please respond. B, okay. B, B.
8 goals, ma'am.
8 goals, perfect. Okay. Next, millennial development goals were targeted to be achieved by which year? I repeat, the millennial development goals were targeted to be achieved by which year? 2010, 2012, 2015, 2020. C. Perfect. How many sustainable development goals were adopted in 2015? C. Again, C it is. 17. Perfect. The sustainable development goal are expected to be achieved by 20,
2030, ma'am.
50, 35, 40. 2030. Perfect. Now, read this question twice, then read the option. Which of the following millennial development goals directly focused on environmental sustainability? I repeat, which of the following millennial development goals directly focused on environmental sustainability? Goal 5, improve maternal health. Goal 6, combat HIV/AIDS and malaria and other diseases. 7, ensure environmental stability. 8, develop global partnership for development. C. Okay. C. Done. The right answer is answer number C. Which of the following is not a sustainable development goal? Now, whenever you see this not word, I'll request read the question more than 2 times. Which of the following is not a sustainable development goal? Zero
C.
hunger, affordable clean energy, space exploration and innovation, life below water. C. Okay. Answer C is right. Which organizations coordinated for the formulation of millennial development goals and sustainable development goals? I repeat, which organizations coordinated the formulation of millennial development goals and sustainable development goals? World Bank, United Nations, International Monetary Fund, IMF, or WTO? Okay, I can see B answer coming, United Nations. B. Okay, the right answer is question number, the answer B. One of the major criticism of millennial development goals was that they had too many goals to achieve, overemphasized on developed nation, neglected environmental sustainability in depth, were legally binding on all member nation. I repeat, one major criticism. Criticism is drawback, negative. They
Op-
had too many. Okay, I can see B, C,
Option C, ma'am.
C. Okay, C. I have B and C. Okay. Any other answer other than B and C? Here, the right answer is C. See, this one which I've already mentioned while saying that there was no emphasis is being given on sustainability, the social perspective, right? That is why we have. Now remember this one, people who have answered for B, especially developing countries and all countries, right? So you have to remember that. So here the answer is neglected environmental sustainability. So you'll remember that Venn diagram. So previously when we saw it was poverty and everything, but when we talked about millennial development goals, we are focusing more towards this. Okay, the next, the sustainable development goal, life below water, which is goal number 14, primarily addresses marine ecosystem conservation, freshwater resource management, industrial waste treatment, air pollution reduction. Primarily addresses which one? Marine, what do we call it? A. Okay, I have A. Okay, A coming in. A. Okay, good. The answer is A. Okay. Shall we take a small break of 5 minutes before we move ahead? Or shall we start with the topic? I'm okay. Shall we take a small break? That will do, everyone. At 7, we will move ahead towards this environmental issues, local, regional, and global. Okay. So we'll take a small break before, like, be available at 6:59 something. So while 7 o'clock sharp will proceed. Is it okay, everyone? You can
Sure,
stay.
ma'am.
Yes. You can stay on this link. Just you can mute yourself, go freshen up for 5 minutes, and then sharp at 7, I'll be starting. Okay. Okay, are we back, everyone? Okay. Okay. Let's move ahead from here after. Anyone, any doubt until here? Sustainable and millennial development goals and basic. What is environment? Okay. Okay. Now hereafter, as we move towards, thank you. Okay. Hereafter, as we move towards environmental issues, local, regional, and global. Now, here we will be focusing major on what is pollution, different types of pollutants, right? So whenever you're making notes, remember with respect. Now, say for example, we are talking about air pollution. So what are the various gases? How does it affect? So there can be, sorry, match the following or anything coming from that area, right? So make sure you are clear regarding it. So pollution here, when we talk upon, so pollution is defined as introducing harmful substances, such as it can be in any form, solid, liquid, gas, or any form of energy. Now it can be light, heat, sound, or radioactivity also into the environment. The harmful elements that damage the air, water, and land quality can cause pollution, and they are called as pollutants. So here we will be clear regarding two words. The first is pollution and second is pollutants. So pollution, again, any undesirable change which is coming, as we said, in any form, solid, liquid, gas, physical, chemical, biological characteristics in air, water, or soil, we will call as pollution, right? And the agents that bring on this particular undesirable change, those agents are called as pollutants, right? So the pollutants can be the solid, liquid, gas substances that are coming into it, right? And they are maybe they can be produced by human activities or natural happenings or industrial waste as such. So those would be known as, so those agents or mediators we call as are pollutants, and the process we call as event is known as pollution. Okay. Now, when we talk about pollution, we have basic, which you know, we have air pollution, we have water, soil, light pollution, we have noise pollution, thermal pollution, which has been given by maybe industries, and then we have radioactive pollution as such, right? Then we can categorize it into two parts. First is biodegradable waste and non-biodegradable waste. What is biodegradable? What is non-biodegradable? Anyone? Biodegradable and non-biodegradable. Very common words which we use in daily life. Yes.
Biodegradable waste is something that gets that sort of decimates over time and gets absorbed to the environment or soil wherever it's disposed of. But non-biodegradable, such as plastics, they just do not, like, they remain as such in their condition, and they keep on rotting away in the soil or some other place where they have been disposed of, and they in turn sort of keep on polluting them.
Correct, absolutely right. Okay, so as ma'am suggested, biodegradable, as basic as that, we will be talking upon those which are again waste products which are degraded by the microbials action. Now, say for example, sewage can be an example for it. And then we have non-biodegradable pollutions, which are again, which are never decomposed by microbial action. So when we say a plastic can be an example, when we can say glass can be an example for it, right? Or even as you mentioned, the radioactive, those substances can be non-biodegradable pollutants, right? So biodegradable can be broken down naturally by the microorganisms into simpler, non-harmful substances, and they are environmental friendly. But when we talk upon non-biodegradable waste, they cannot be easily broken down by natural processes. So non-biodegradable waste can accumulate in the environment, leading the pollution, and they can harm our wildlife also. So these are being made by natural things. So, you know, the food waste which we throw, the paper, the wood, the plant, we say, you know, that is again can be processed into fertilizers as such. So again, those we can say as biodegradable. So persist for a shorter time in the environment. But when we talk about non-degradable waste, we cannot recycle those things that made up of synthetic materials. So non-biodegradable substances tend to stay longer in the environment. So we have metals, we have plastics, we have glass. Synthetic material can be an example. Okay, so biodegradable, which can again be eco-friendly environment way of decomposing of it. Non-biodegradable, we cannot synthesize that. Okay. The next important here, now again, similarly for pollution also, we can divide it into two parts. First is natural and second is anthropological. Now, anthropological is again by the living man-made thing, we are doing that. So that is anthropological because of us, what is the pollution we are creating. And then we have natural. The first here which we will be talking about is air pollution. So what according to you is air pollution? Anyone? Simple. What is air pollution? Air pollution. Sorry. What is air pollution? Very simple. Come on. Anyone?
Air may be polluted due to the gases. Like
Correct. So when we are talking about air pollution, aggravated because of four development: increase in traffic, growing city, rapid economic development, industrialization, contamination of air, and the discharge of harmful substances, right? So here air pollution can be defined as the presence of any solid, liquid, or gaseous substance. Now here, as we said, radioactive radiation also, that can also concentrate, can directly and indirectly harm, right? So those would also be a part of it. So air pollutants are of two types. First is suspended particulate matter, and second is gaseous pollutants. Like when we say CO2, we say H2SO4, or it can be NOx, right? So these are again which can be harming. Now, air pollution is the world's single greatest environmental risk for prematurely killing of 6.5 million people across the world. Okay, now here when we say, now question in air pollution comes from this particular slide, which is which particular gas is affecting what. So here we can see the first is, say for example, the particulate matter that is there, the small particles matter, the tiny particles from the combustions of industrial processes, that is being there. Second we can say is nitrogen dioxide. Now nitrogen dioxide, we will remember from gas from vehicle emissions and power plants. Which gas does it harm the environment? So here the answer would be nitrogen dioxide. Next is sulfur dioxide. So sulfur dioxide is gas from burning fossil fuels and industrial activities, right? So here we will remember, say for example, thermal plant. So if a question comes in, which is the major primary gas responsible for creating air pollution in thermal power plants, our answer would be sulfur dioxide. So particulate matter are small tiny particles which come of industrial processes. Second is nitrogen dioxide. So there we will talk upon gas from vehicle emissions and power plants. Third, sulfur dioxide, we will talk upon fossil fuels and industrial activities, right? And they are also somewhere or the other the major contributor of smog and acid rain also coming into picture, right? And somewhere or the other they lead towards lung diseases. So sulfur dioxide, the main principle you'll remember is this. Next is carbon monoxide, which is gas from incomplete combustions of fuel. That is a reason for the same thing. Sorry. Right, so gas from incomplete combustion of fuels, we will remember carbon monoxide. Then we have ground level ozone, gas formed by chemical reactions in the sunlight, because of which we are having this. Next is volatile organic components such as solvent, paints, and industrial process. Because of this there can be pollution. And then we have is lead. Now lead, when we talk upon petrol, diesel, or even the lead batteries which are there. When we say hair dye products are there, so that is something which is creating pollution. Now again, it may affect the digestive system, right? In some cases that has led towards cancer also. So heavy metals from industrial process and in historical sources leads towards lead being found, and that is a major reason, common pollutant in air, right? So these are your major things. Similarly, when we are talking upon ozone, so ozone gas formed by chemical reaction of sunlight. So again, we can have it as it occurs in the upper layer of the atmosphere, right? So we have highly toxic effects can be there, right? So it can say, for example, lead towards eye being itchy or burns being there. So major in all, we will try to remember these many gases and these small abbreviation. You'll remember these words, which can again help you to get the answer, the right answer for the same thing. Similarly, one more thing which you will remember when we are talking about air pollutants, especially currently the cases which is going on, is smog. Can anyone tell me what is smog? S-M-O-G, smog. What is smog?
Smoke plus fog.
Smoke plus fog, yes. A combination of smoke plus fog is smoke. So what does it do? We are currently listening too much regarding, daily the air quality currently which is there, the smog is there. So here again, this is interaction between when we talk about sunlight and certain chemicals which are mixing in the atmosphere. We have it, right? So oxides and sunlight, which are again formed with the pollutants which is released from gasoline as such. So remember this word air pollution. Other than these particular gases and particulate matters, remember smog also. Now see here, you can see with a beautiful image given on your screen right now. So it can be natural sources, it can be mobile sources, it can be stationary as industries. And then we have most hydrocarbons, most populated, suspended. So primary pollutants here is CO, CO2, SO2, NO, right? And we have secondary also. Sources of air pollution, when we say majorly, it is our household items, whichever we are throwing, it can be paints, cleaners, aerosols, right? Indoor, outdoor pollution, which we are doing. It can be with the helps of industrial emissions also, which we have, say, for example, sulfur dioxide, nitrogen, particulate matter, which we just saw, again, which leads to the diminution of air quality. Next is transportation, when we are talking upon the kind of fossil fuels which we are being using and making transportation a major for, so again affects the greenhouse effect as such. The major health effects can be the respiratory diseases. So these kind of questions are also being asked, major air pollution. So what can be the probable? So again, they can give you questions like asthma, breathing issues, right? Respiratory conditions, or they can give you malaria is being done. So again, you know that malaria would be caused by water or again, right? Cardiovascular issues, exposure to polluted air linked with heart attacks, strokes, and hypertension. Now here, if you can see on the screen right now, we have these major gases which are being formed, right? Particulate matter. Again, the permissible when we say is PM 2.5 to PM 10. Vehicle emissions, construction, dust, burning fossil fuels, industrial activity. Now, in terms of air pollutant, I really want you to remember this, right? Especially these two columns, major sources, where they are coming from, and the health issues which can there, right? Say, for example, the first one, particulate matter, we have vehicle emissions, construction, dust, burning fossil fuels, industrial activities are responsible. And similarly, we can have respiratory and cardiovascular issues, asthma, lung cancer, premature death can be a reason for it. Then we have nitrogen dioxide, vehicle exhaust, power plants, right? Lung irritation can be a part of it. Sulfur dioxide, coal and oil combustion, right? So sulfur dioxide, we have to remember with industry first, right? So irritation in eyes, lungs can be a reason. Carbon monoxide, incomplete combustion of fuels, vehicle emissions, residential heating can be a part of it. Ground level ozone, we just spoke, reactions between NOx2, VOCs and sunlight. Okay, and we have lead. So lead here we will remember with batteries, petrol, diesel, lead is being found in that. So that can affect. I hope it is clear, everyone. Shall I move ahead?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, in this regard, we have various government initiatives also for air pollution, right? So they can be now in pollution, when we say people environment, there can be one general knowledge or recent activity which has happened, so, right? So say, for example, National Air Quality Index, which has been done. There can be question regarding Delhi. Again, it's very alarming in this. So what is the recent data? So we remember, be vigilant what is happening in and around with respect to a particular subject as such, right? So there was National Ambient Air Quality Standard 2009 forecasting 12 pollutants to indicate the level of air for protection of public health. And sorry, there is introduction of cleaner alternative fuels such as CNG, LPG. Currently, there's a lot many buzz regarding ethanol blending, right? So again, there can be question regarding it. What can be alternative fuels? Then we have Passover BS4 standards in vehicle from 1st April 2020, promotion of public transport network and environmental audits. Now again, companies have become more socially responsible and they know, we have to focus on it. Okay, the next thing which we have said is smog. So smog, which we call as smoke fog, is typically an intense air pollution. So this word was again coined in 20th century. The word smog and fog to refer the smog fog, smoky fog due to obesity and odor. Okay. Summer smog is primarily associated with photochemical formation of ozone during the summer season when the temperatures are warmer and there is sunlight present. So photochemical smogs are dominant in this. Next is the, here you can see the formation of photochemical fog. Sorry. Nitrogen oxide and volatile organic compounds. When it comes in interaction with sunlight, there's a brown photochemical being found. So here, the two types of pollutants are emitted: hydrocarbons, which is unburned fuel, and nitric oxide, which leads to photochemical smog, right? So this NO2 in turns absorbs energy from sunlight and breaks up to nitric oxide and free oxygen atom, right? Okay, so we have these smog towers, we have anti-smog guns are being used also. Next up, we will proceed towards water pollution. So water pollution, what do you think water pollution is there? Water pollution?
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yes.
Ma'am, there was a slide regarding a difference between photochemical smog and something else. Could you kindly go back? Yes, ma'am.
This is an additional information. Actually, they don't go this much into detail. I've included. If you want, shall I read out and explain? If you want.
No, ma'am. I took a screenshot if that's okay.
It's fine. No issues.
Thank you, ma'am.
It's just for information. See, smog is a basic idea. No? There can be one question if, but I don't think there's much weightage to give over that. Okay. See, in air pollution, as we move ahead in air pollution, I request you to remember this particular slide. This is for sure. You have to remember it. There's no option. We will remember the various gases, the major sources and health effect. And other than that, we have to focus on smog, basic understanding what is smog. Similarly, when you are reading and you're preparing in detail, there's this concept of fly ash, if you know. Have anyone heard about fly ash?
Yeah.
Fly ash, do you know about it? Okay, just read a basic. Now, basically, it talks upon there are solid materials in the air, that take place. So, which is Aluminum silate, silicon dioxide, and calcium oxide. I'll include that in tomorrow's slide, don't worry. Okay? So fly ash is again one topic similar to that of smog, right? So all these ashes which come in form of fine powder, right? Again, it is a byproduct whenever we are burning coal. So that is again a major reason for air pollution, especially when we talk about thermal power plants. So there can be a question regarding fly ash. So if you're making notes, please add fly ash, right? Smog and fly ash. Am I clear, everyone? Are you able to understand? Yes? Actually, we have limited of 4 hour session. Otherwise, if we go dig deep into it, we have this one also. Fly ash is there, then we have acid rain. But let's not go deep into it. I guess this is basic. You'll able to get that. Okay. Just understand what is the basic meaning. What does that word mean, right? It will be helping you to answer the major questions. Okay. Moving ahead to water pollution. What is water pollution? What is water pollution? Anyone? Water pollution? What do we mean by water pollution? Quickly. Yes. Water pollution. What do we mean by water pollution? Yes.
Water contaminations.
Sorry, water?
Water contaminations due to the chemicals.
Now, again, this water pollution, as Sir said, we have contamination. This can be because of our household waste as well as industrial. We have we hear about this of oil spillage as such, right? That can be a reason. Now, if you see on the screen, you'll find cropland, animal feedings there, suburban development, city streets, rural homes. Again, these all, whatever is the natural pollutants being there, that again results into water pollution, right? So addition of certain substances to the water, such as organic, inorganic, biological, radiological, heat, which degrades the quality of water, that it can become unfit for use, right? So this is the process of decomposition. Now here, water having a dissolved oxygen content below 8 mg can be considered as contaminated water. Now, water pollution can be measured in terms of biochemical oxygen demand, which we call as BOD, which is the amount of dissolved oxygen needed by the bacteria to decompose the organic waste present in the water. So anything beyond 8 we consider as contamination. Now, the major health disease, as I said, you will remember air pollution. So what are the major disease? Similarly, in water pollution, what can be the disease? So it can be diarrhea, vomiting, typhoid, skin diseases, nerve disorders, kidney, hepatitis, right? So these are the basic which you'll remember in terms of water pollution. Next up we have is noise pollution. What is noise pollution? Noise pollution.
Pollution of the noise caused by vehicles could be speakers, go beyond the normal or the regular decibel limit.
Correct. Okay. As ma'am rightly said, so again, sound, when we say, it is being measured in decibels, right? So any increase in this noise above 10 decibel, here, as we said, in terms of water, we have 8 mg, which we'll remember. Similarly, noise pollution, when we say, any noise which is about 10 decibels approximately doubles the increase of the loudness as such. So noise pollution refers to the unwanted or harmful sound that disrupts the natural balance and adversely affect the human health, animal life, as well as an environment. Now here, it can be because of the transpiration content, especially when we talk about our India, where we keep on honking, including me. We keep on honking, industrial operations, construction works, loudspeakers, and any other kind of urban development, right? So transportation, again, road traffic, trains, industrial activity, machinery, generators, construction, heavy drilling is going on, that can lead to it. Public events, fireworks, currently we have this wedding season going on, so loudspeaker, fireworks, continuously we see, right? Household community, loud TV, parties, barking of dogs, appliances, again, can lead to noise pollution. So sound is measured in decibels, anything above 10 decibel, and that can, if the person's hearing can be damaged if exposed to noise pollution over 75 decibel over a prolonged period of time, right? So here we are saying that WHO recommends the sound level indoors should be less than 30 decibel noise and is measured in terms of decibels, and as per it has been the optimum noise level should be 45 decibel per day to 35 decibel at night, right? So anything beyond that, we consider it as noise pollution. Unwanted or excess sound that can have deleterious effect on human health, right? Now here when we talk upon sources of noise pollution can be noise, burners, traffic management, blocks, building insulation, electric cars, soundscape, quiet road surface, changing driving styles, building design and usage of it. Now, the major impact of noise pollution, which we can see, is in terms of hypertension. Suddenly, BP, the blood pressure keeps on increasing, hypertension again. And we have been exposed, suddenly, there's construction work going on. It gives us stress. Continuously, there's drilling being done. Suddenly, we are listening to sound. So, again, sleep disruptions can be there. Child development, again, continuously can be lead to those diseases. Then we have cardiovascular, again, elevated blood pressure, noise pollution, hypertension, sleep depressions can be a part of it. The fourth one talks upon e-waste and solid waste. E-waste, what does e-waste mean? Anyone? E-waste?
Electronic waste, I think.
Yes. What constitutes of electronic waste? Can you give me example? Electronic waste. And then we'll go into solid waste.
Discarded
Electrical-
batteries.
Batteries, laptops. Okay. Yes, sir. You were saying something. Sorry. Okay. On my left-hand side, you can see on the screen reuse, reduce, recycle, repair, and reject. Right? Can you see the slides? Okay. Okay, e-waste we say as electronic waste. Now here up, if we say, so e-waste is not hazardous if it is stored in safe storage or recycled by scientific method or transported from one place to another in parts or in totality in formal sector. Then e-waste can be considered hazardous if recycled by primitive method. So there was a survey which was being carried out by Central Pollution Control Board of 2025, which suggested that in India, among the top 10 cities, Mumbai ranks first in generating the e-waste, followed by Delhi, Bangalore, Chennai, Kolkata, Ahmedabad, Hyderabad, Pune, Surat, and Nagpur. So all these electronic waste, which we say it is, we can say in terms of the discharge of batteries, which we are putting it out, right? So this regarded abundant or considered waste-like materials in irrigation, return flow of industrial discharges, does not include solid. So here when we are talking upon solid waste, right? Does not include solid or dissolved material in domestic sewage or solid or dissolved human wildlife. So we can have dioxin, byproduct of manufacturing this, and this process of combustion in absence of oxygen and material burned controlled in atmosphere we call as pyrolysis. Okay, so now there are questions regarding this in this slide like this, which you can see. Waste is again divided into these four parts, which we have urban waste, industrial waste, biomedical waste, and e-waste, right? So when we talk upon urban waste, again divided into two parts called as solid, municipal solid waste, and construction demolition. So there are questions whenever we are talking about waste, e-waste and solid waste, there are questions with respect which I've observed is from this particular section. Now, say for example, which is easy to decompose or which is being done by anthropological activity. So we will say municipal solid waste, which is not easy to uh, control or something, right? So similarly, in industrial, we have hazardous, non-hazardous. In liquid, we have industrial waste, water, right? Biomedical and e-waste. Now here, this particular slide also, when we are saying types of solid waste, we have to make sure we can recall it easily, right? So municipal waste are being done by household, right? The basic one which we throw, maybe vegetable, the peel offs and all, which we or even the plastic which we are throwing off, right? So municipal solid waste is being done by households, offices, schools, commercial establishment. Example, again, food waste, paper, plastic, glass material, textiles, and garden waste can be an example for the same thing. Then we have industrial waste, manufacturing and industrial process, which can be chemicals, as we have just studied in uh, water pollution also, the chemical elements which we are throwing, the oil spillage and all, metals, ash, scrap materials, packaging waste, sludge, all these kind would be. Now this again comes into your options, right? A, B, which is a correct. Now say for example, if I refer to this slide, if I'm asking which is a part of municipal solid waste, so I can give you example 3 option: household, industry, hospital. Second, I'll give you schools, offices, household. Third, I can give you farm, household, clinic. So again, three option I'm giving, so you have to match that which is the right one. So that is why we need to remember what is the type of waste and which is the source of waste. So usually I find this usually a question from this area when we talk upon waste, right? So then we have hazardous waste. Again, you remember, it is industries, hospitals, laboratory, household, which can be in terms of battery solvents. Biomedical, we will remember by hospitals, clinics, right? So medical word is coming, so all the medical waste, that would be category into it. Then we have electronic waste, homes, offices, industries. You'll remember all the electronic items, again, which we are not discarding in a right form, would create waste. Agricultural waste we can have from farms, plantation, right? Pesticides, especially any kind of crop residue or spoiled rains that can lead to it. Then we have construction and demolition, right? Now remember, municipal solid waste and construction and demolition waste are different. They may give you as an option construction side as municipal solid waste. And then you would be thinking as if I demolish something, now say for example, I want to build my home into reconstruction, right? So first of all, I'm destroying, I want to go for demolition, and then I'll go for renovation. That municipal corporation would be taking. So the answer is no for it. So municipal waste, will remember household, office, and this. And construction and demolition again is a different category of solid waste. Am I clear, everyone? Don't mix construction and demolition waste with municipal solid waste. Are you getting my point? Yes, no, maybe?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes?
There is a commercial establishment is there, ma'am.
Yes.
The municipal.
Yes. Okay. So please remember, commercial establishment, definitely that will come. But anything, you find brick, wood, metal, tiles, we will be categorizing into construction, demolition. Okay. Then we have mining waste, mining and quarrying. Again, rock ferment, hail, sludge, right? We'll remember. Plastic waste, basic, home, shops, packaging, industries. That again, because packaging industry, again, a plastic waste is being produced by them also. Carry bag, bottles, and again, tin cans and whatever they are using for packaging materials. Radioactive waste, nuclear plants, hospital, radiotherapy, labs. So we will remember by that. So in and on, we will remember these types of solid waste. So if you want to remember, you can make this classification chart also, a flow chart, and then you can write in your own words whenever you're making notes. Okay. Waste minimization cycles. So again, small and medium industrial clusters, they use minimizing for the industrial plants. World Bank with Ministry of Environmental Forest acting as a nodal ministry for controlling this. Implemented by the assistance of National Productivity NPC New Delhi. And again, it aims to realize the objectives of policy statements of pollution 1992, which states that government should educate citizens about environmental risk. So again, we have all this what do you say, we have all these not get the word for it, dry waste and waste waste. These are the social reforms which they say, it is being made in Swachh Bharat Abhiyan. It's nothing but a means, a medium. The government is making us understand the importance of keeping the environment clean and the environmental risk it can have. And especially when you say, once the rainy season comes in, so they'll talk upon there can be, dengue happening. So make sure there's no open, there's no water accumulation being there. This is nothing but general to educate. Awareness programs are being made to make sure that people understand the importance of environmental risk and how we can overcome that. Okay. So before we move ahead, let's take few of the questions. Let's solve that. 1 minute. Sorry. Okay. I hope you can see the screen, everyone. Yes. Okay. Now, on your screen, you can find these two options, right? It is match the columns. Following are the two sets of items. Set 1 lists different types of waste, while set 2 indicates the method of their disposable. Match the two sets and give your answer from the code given below. Now, first is the types of waste: dry waste, wet waste, toxic waste, solid waste. Next is method: by decomposing, burying in landfills, by dropping them in corporation bins, by recycling. Take your time and answer. You can answer in your chat box. Take your time, use elimination, read the question twice, and then answer. Sorry. Sorry. Okay. First, make sure which you are very confident. Match that up first and see. You can use elimination and then answer. I'm waiting for your answers. Okay, I can see on my screen 3333. Others, please respond. Okay, others. 3333. Okay. The right answer is option number 3. Now, which one are you very sure the answer is right? Which option you were very, very sure that it is right? Can anyone answer? Or you can write in chat box also. I'm seeing that. You can unmute and answer. Which option you were very sure that this is correct? The pair is correct.
Wet waste by composting.
Wet waste by composting. Okay. Arpita is writing dry waste. Okay. Dry waste and recycle. Yes. Okay. A. Dry waste. Correct. Okay, so here make sure that try to eliminate it. Two options if I'm very sure, right? Dry waste is recycling, say 3 ka 4. Now, if I'm very sure regarding it, this question can be solved in few seconds only. Now, again, second, I know I'm really sure regarding wet waste. Okay. Now, wet waste goes with composting. That can be again an example B. So here I can see are two questions, two options having the same answer? No. Now here the clear cut, I can opt for the third one. I can just be confident. Okay, two options I'm really sure. 3 and 4, you are just doing, okay, fine. Now here when I'm saying soiled waste by dropping them in corporation sounds logical. Now I can opt for it. Okay. Good. Next, the purpose underlying the renewable energy education programs are, the purposes underlying the renewable energy purposes are corrective and predictive, preventive and ameliorative, diagnostic and evaluative, educative and investigative. Read twice. Take your time, read twice. Corrective, predictive, preventive, ameliorative. Ameliorative means improving something. Diagnostic, evaluative, educative, and investigative. What is the purpose of renewable energy education program? Okay, we have option number 4. 4, very good. Okay, others? Take time, understand what it means, what they're trying to trick us up with, and then answer. Okay, I have 3 answers now for 4. Anyone else with any other answer? 4. Okay. Others, please respond. It's fine. Right, wrong. Okay. We have 2 also, preventive and ameliorative. Okay. Others quickly. 2. Okay, we have tie now. 4 and 2. Others, please respond in the chat box, or you can unmute and say if you want to. Anything does. 4. 4. Okay, the right answer is 4, educative and investigative. Now, renewable green energy, you know, when we talk upon, so here the main education, now here the word is used, energy education programs. So here educative and investigative. Somewhere or the other, we had the answer in the question itself. Diagnostic, I'm not trying to find and evaluate something. It's a education program. So I am talking about educative. Preventive, no, because I'm not talking about, now say for example I'm talking about pollution, so I'm saying these are the preventive measures, but here we are focusing on usage of renewable energy. So that is why, and neither I'm trying to like improve, again, yes, improve in terms of energy, but preventive definitely not. Corrective and predictive, no, right? So here the answer is educative and investigative. Okay, good. Next, in the scheme of life, soil is an essential resource of life as it plays the following roles. It is a reservoir of carbon. It is a medium for growth of food and energy for animal world. It provides oxygen to the biotic community. Just now we studied what is biotic. It is a natural reservoir for the huge amount of water. Select the correct answer from the above. Option 1, ACD. A, B, C, B, C, D, A, B, D. Read the question twice. Take time, understand, and then answer. Go with elimination. Think which you're very sure about.
3.
Okay, 3, 4. Okay, we have 3 and 4, 2 options coming in. 3.
Option number 3.
Okay, 3. B, C, D and A, B, D. Okay. Others, quickly. Answer. Okay. 4 and 3. Okay, we have 2 also. A, B, C. Okay, correct. 2, 3, 4. Okay, anyone else with the answer, please write it down so I know how far are we going with this. The right option is option number 4, A, B, D. It provides oxygen for the biotic community. Now, again, when we have talked upon biotic community, we had talked upon the living organism, right? So again, it's not the only source, right? So here, reservoir of carbon, definitely. Medium for growth for food energy for animal world, I'm really sure about it, right? And then we had natural reservoir for huge amount of water. Now, again, this is basic. Whenever we pour water, again, the moisture and this, it has been using. So by elimination, now, one thing here you will be, now I'm talking about this cannot be absolutely right. See, now here option number 8, reservoir of carbon, we all know, right? So here I can see that 1, 2 and 4 are having A as an option. Now D, if you see D, the natural reservoir for huge amount of water, I am okay. I'm known regarding that. Then comes this medium for it. So which, again, the option which you're very sure, I'm sure about A and D over here, or I'm sure about B and D, right? So in that manner, I can use it as an elimination technique and found the answer for the same thing, right? Whenever you are going with people, environment, please make sure we are using our basic common sense also. Again, we may or may not have read about it, but in a basic logic, I find, I don't know, this can be an answer for it. Okay. Well, one of the following has a positive human influence on the environment: conservation, pollution, overpopulation, deforestation. Following has a positive human influence on the environment. Okay, 1, 1, 1. Others answer.
1.
Okay, 1. Right? It is easy. Pollution, overpopulation, and deforestation are negative words when we say. Conservation again is positive. Good. Right? Read this question. Assertion and reason. The environment impact of soil erosion can be best by mitigated by removing vegetative cover only from a specific site on which the construction is to take place. My assertion is this, right? The environment impact of soil erosion can best be mitigated by removing vegetative cover only from a specific site on which construction is to take place. Reasoning is, the environmental impact of soil erosion can also be mitigated by disturbing the vegetation in an certain areas as little as possible. Both A and R are true, and R is the correct explanation of A. A is false, but R is true. Both A and R are false. True, but R is not the correct explanation. A is true, but R is false. Take your time, think, and answer. Now here assertion means a statement, a statement or a claim which we are saying, and reasoning is why we are saying that. So the statement and the reasoning. Okay, we have 2 people have answered 2. A is false, but R is true. Okay, other 2, 1. Both A and R are true, but R is the correct explanation. Okay. I request others, please keep their mic on mute. Okay, one has answered two, two have answered one. Take your time, understand, and answer. Okay, I'm waiting for your answers. Please answer. Okay, we have three. Okay. Okay, we have one, two, three. Okay. Others, please answer. Already taken. The right answer is option number three. Ankita, very good, I guess. Sushri Ankita Jina. Good. Three answer. Both A and R are true, but R is not the correct explanation. In adjacent areas as little as possible. Now, again, we have to make sure that we are doing it everywhere. There's no specific space only for that we are saying, suggesting that. Okay. Next, assertion and reason. Hydropower is an exhaustible energy resource. I repeat, hydropower is an exhaustible energy resource. Reasoning here is given. The power of falling water could neither diminish nor get exhausted. The power of falling water could neither diminish nor get exhausted. Both A and R are false. Both A and R are true, and R is the correct explanation of A. A is true, but R is false. Both A and R are true, but R is not the correct explanation. Think, read the question twice, and answer. Okay, we have 2, 1, 1, 3. Okay. Okay, 1 1 3 3 2 1. Here, both A and R are true, and R is the correct explanation of A. Okay, is the right answer. Which of the following industries consume maximum water in India? Energy, engineering, sorry, paper plum, textiles, thermal power plants. I repeat, which of the following industries consumes maximum water in India? Answer, energy, engineering, paper and plum, textiles, thermal power plants. Answer. Okay, we have answer 4, 4, 4, 4, 4. Correct. The answer is thermal power plants. Again, because of this coal, uh, for cooling down that temperature, we use thermal power plants. And specifically, when we talk about industry, major water, it has been consumed around, let's say, approximately major 80% is being consumed by thermal power plants. Okay. Read this question. Hails damage the standing crops. This is the last one, then we'll wind it up. Assertion says hails damage the standing crops. Reason, in India, hails occur only during winter season. First, hails damage the standing crops. Second, in India, hails occur only during the winter seasons. Option A, both A and R are true. R is the correct explanation of A. Both A and R are true. R is not the correct explanation. A is true, but R is false. A is false, but R is true. Okay. We have 3, 3, 3, 3. Both A is true, but R is false. Okay. 2. A is 2, but R is false. Okay. Okay, the right answer here is A is true, but R is false. Now, basically, hails, when we say, is when ice come in high speed on the plants, it basically damage. So again, R is fall only because of winter season, because again it can go up till January, February, more to that also area. So that is why R is false here. But hails damage the standing crop. The answer is yes, it does. But the reasoning here, it's not just restricted to winter seasons. Whenever we have more if it can happen. So R is falls over here. Okay, by this we will wind up today's session. We will meet again on Monday. Okay, so the next part of it, we will be having it on Monday, right? Monday sharp at 6 o'clock, we will be commencing the session, right? Thank you everyone for listening, patiently answering, interacting. That is all it makes it. I hope understand you are able to understand and it's not going boring to you all, right? Yes. Okay. So tomorrow we don't have session. Monday we will catch up again, 6 to 8, right? So happy weekend to everyone. Let's meet at 6 o'clock Monday, right? Thank you. Thank you.